Good morning, pregame crew. How are ya? I hope you're doing well. Let's do an audio-visual check. I'll officially get started in 6 minutes. Between now and then, I'm going to say hello to my friends, make sure everything's working on the technology side, take a couple chart requests. Good morning, Shake and Bake. Yeah, hit the like button. Batusi, I'm sorry if I butchered that. Good morning. Yeah, we can take a look at Circle. I can look at Mara for you, Hunter, for sure. Good morning, Tess. All right, let's get started looking at Circle. Circle's temporarily topping out here. So on this IPO, we have a daily support back here of 143.53. And we've retraced about 50% of that move. So on the next bounce, bears will be looking for a daily lower high due to the size of that retracement. On the 4 hour, this looks like a potential bear flag. This is not a reassuring look for the bulls. So on the hourly, we are not oversold yet. So the most aggressive bull, or even conservative bull, that's looking for a long play on Circle, you're waiting for hourly to get oversold and then wait for short-term signals that it's reversing and you have bulls joining you on the trade or bears covering. So right now it looks pretty heavy. 217.58 is your support from yesterday morning. 210 is from pre-market. And we're watching hourly oversold. Let me set my alert for that. Tell me when it gets to 30. On bounces, bears will be looking to top fish. You have a pre-market high of 239.50. And then your next level to top fish, 254.08. All right, Mara. Mara should be looking good with Bitcoin overnight, getting over daily resistance. So we have Mara. A daily lower high is the more likely scenario, but we are gapping up. Gap rules apply. It makes it simple. Gap rules, if you're a TCG member, there's a video in your educational files that you just search on our search menu for gap rules, and it'll show you. It's very simple. If a name like Mara is gapping up, and then once we open, if bulls defend the prior day high, it is a long signal. If bears push it down into yesterday's range, that is a bear signal. That means that bears are getting more distance and ground to cover than they should. So Mara is a long signal as long as we're holding 1505. We are looking for a daily lower high, so be aware of that. Hourly is approaching overbought. So 1519 is your next resistance. Silver. Silver potential hourly bear flag. Let's look at it on a larger time frame. On the weekly, we're looking for a higher low. On the daily, we're in a downtrend. We've lost the daily 12 EMA. We're inside yesterday's range. On the 4 hour, this is wonky. It's ugly, but this could be a 2 hour inverse head and shoulders. Could. We'll see. Hourly could be a bear flag, so bulls have to be cautious, but you could look for a potential long. Looking for the 4 hour higher low on silver. Bulls need the 4 hour trend change to set that weekly higher low. So this could be a good area for silver. Hey, Mark in Australia. I've been watching Alone Australia, and God, I love the accents. Good morning, Monkey Man. Hey, Taylor in Vermont. Hey, Success. IONQ had some news this morning about their quantum computer. They're doing something, just a FYI. It is green this morning. I like IONQ. This is not a classic cup and handle pattern, but I do like that rounded bottom. Bulls would have liked to have seen a push up closer to 54.74. But this is a nice weekly pattern, weekly EQ, daily held this double bottom. Now we have a daily uptrend. We are not gapping up, so we need to be cautious of a potential 4-hour lower high. We're opening green. Key support 40.87 and then 40.53. Oh, thank you for putting in the gap rules video. I appreciate it. All right, let's get this show on the road. Let me make sure there's nothing else I'm missing. QSI. QSI, oh, that's a nice chart. We got a lower low without follow through. Nice hammer candle here from Monday. Nice volume. 215 is your next resistance. $157, $155. Weekly double bottom. Looking for a 4-hour higher low. Curve is gapping down. Yes, so for gap rules, if this were to push up, as long as bears defend yesterday's low as resistance, it is a short signal. All right, now let's get started. Good morning. Welcome to the pregame show. Let me see, who am I? I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community and we teach technical analysis. If you want to give me a follow on X at Chart Gal Lori, that would be lovely. Check us out at chartguys.com. I'd appreciate that. What I do here on Wednesdays, I get you ready for the trading day. I've created this market environment dossier table, fancy name, for just a table where I can communicate to you more objectively what I'm looking at in the market, and we're looking more bullish than bearish. Dollar has some strength that can sometimes be inverse the market, just something to note. Apple is below the hourly EMAs, gonna note that. DAX is red and XLE is still weak. And I just wanna let you know tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, I will be going over the mindset shift that builds 7-figure traders. How do you go from being a 5-figure trader to a 7-figure trader? What are the key differences that makes a 7-figure trader successful? So we'll go over that tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. The link is in chat. I'm going to pin it right here. Here's the chat. So now it's going to be right up at the top. Pinned at the top. So it's free webinar. If you want to hang out with me tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, I will be doing question and answers at the end, Q&A. So join me tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. Key differences between 5 and 7-figure traders. And also you can save that link and watch it later if you can't watch it live. All right, economic calendar. Today, building permits. Fed Chair Powell will testify again today in front of the House Financial Services Committee. I believe it's the House. So there's some sound bites that could come out that could possibly move the market. We have oil inventory, which is pretty important today with oil getting crushed after the ceasefire. That could create some volatility in 5-year note auction. All right, let's get to my favorite. Let's get to my favorite. Come on. Charts. So ES, we're getting over yesterday's high by only $1.75 so far. We are not at all-time high. If we look at SPY, we're not gapping up. We're 4 cents below yesterday's high. So adjusted for dividends, 609.59 is the all-time high. 609.59. Adjusted for dividend. Unadjusted for dividend, the all-time high is 613.23. QQQ is over the all-time high. Non-adjusted for dividend, 540.81. We're over that. So NQ is stronger this morning than ES, new all-time high. So we could keep QQQ on back burner watch now. We're in blue sky territory. Why is QQQ in blue sky territory? I think it has a lot to do with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is gapping up. NVIDIA was my Queen of the Mountain trade yesterday. This 4-hour squeeze is incredible. And a squeeze just denotes where we have pressure building. And you could see we had this range. We stayed inside. We stayed inside that range. And inside that range, you get coiling. Think about a Coke can that you shake up and pressure builds. And then someone pops the top on the can, and then the pressure releases. What direction does the pressure release? The preceding trend is your best clue. And I also like to watch 50 RSI. As long as it's maintaining 50 RSI, preceding trend was up, I favor up. That's why I took calls yesterday on NVIDIA. I did exit those calls from the live stream trade. This still looks great. This is a Queen of the Mountain trade still. I like gap rules here. As long as bulls are holding 147.96 as support, it is a long signal. So QQQ looks great. It has semis at its back. Semis are providing a tailwind. So we are gapping up on semis. And you have a gap over here that's filled. Next resistance, 274.41. So we gapped up yesterday on semis and held that gap up, and we're gapping up again today. So we'll watch it tomorrow. If we were to gap up again tomorrow, that could be an exhaustion pattern. So we'll be watching that. But I always like to just take note of the distance between the EMA and price. Look at that air pocket. That shows you, that's not the best drawing. Let me draw it again. It just shows the force in which the bulls are pushing up price. That air pocket between price and the hourly 12 EMA just shows the force that they have. Semis look great. Gap rules apply. The Russell is red this morning. We are not gapping up. I want to look at IWM. It makes it a little clearer. Look at the daily 200 MA overhead. It's right overhead. 215.33 is key resistance. Yesterday's high, 214.93. We maintained the gap up, but we're running into that daily 200 MA, holding the hourly 12 EMA, which is crucial. Not saying we can't overcome the daily 200 MA. It's just important that we note it. And also look at what's holding back the Dow. The purple line is the daily simple 200, moving average. So we have enough room for a daily higher or low. We have a double top at 435.15, 435.16. VIX is melting. I didn't notice this yesterday. I noticed it this morning that we had these higher highs without follow through, broadening formation on VIX. So VIX is in a daily downtrend. 4-hour is not oversold. Hourly is oversold, but that doesn't mean a lot with VIX. VIX can get pretty beat up. Your next support is $17 psychological and then $16.23. Yeah, let's get fired up. All right. Hang Seng was green overnight. DAX is currently red. Bitcoin is green. Look at the hourly 12 EMA maintaining price on Bitcoin. Now look at the 4-hour. You want to talk about an air pocket. Look at that air pocket between price and the EMA. Bitcoin has some strength this morning, and we see names benefiting from that. Coin had a great move yesterday, and we're having a big gap up. We are at 52-week highs. Next resistance, 268.90. Daily is overbought. Weekly approaching overbought, but there's no resistance nearby. Hourly 12 EMA is the guide. So coin looks great, getting some benefit from the market and Bitcoin. Hood looks wonderful. All-time high, $85. We're right there. So we need to get over $85 to be in blue sky territory. Then you could keep Hood on back burner watch. Hood looks wonderful. Gap rules apply. What doesn't look good is MSTR. MSTR is green, but we are not gapping up. So the question is, this bearish divergence, is this something that's going to stay for the day? Or will MSTR be able to follow Bitcoin? I like this 4-hour squeeze on MSTR. Let's see if we can get an hourly higher low and then another leg up. MSTR could be a laggard long to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin looks great this morning. Ethereum looks good, not as strong as Bitcoin, holding the 4-hour 12 EMA. Dollar, I think it's 12-hour. Oh, potential 12-hour bear flag on the dollar. This doesn't look great. Gold has a potential 12-hour bear flag, so it's mimicking the dollar. Typically, they go inverse. So we're looking for a weekly higher low on gold. We're at the weekly 12 EMA. 4-hour got oversold yesterday. We bounced from daily support. We broke this daily support here of 33.13 by $5. Bulls bought it as if it were a double bottom. So now, can bulls get a 4-hour higher low and trend change for the weekly higher low? I like gold long as we're holding 33.08, looking for that weekly higher low, knowing that the dollar's in a potential 12-hour bear flag. We have oil with a potential 4-hour bear flag. We have inventory today. We're oversold on the 4-hour, looking for a weekly higher low at the daily 200 MA. I like oil long, but inventory today, I need to get that out the way. I like it long against $64. Nat gas is really at an interesting spot. We're looking for a daily higher low, and 4-hour is oversold. Typically, we look for hourly oversold when we're looking for a daily higher low. This is 4-hour oversold. So let's see if nat gas can get something going today. There's some bullish divergence here in RSI. RSI is making a higher low while price made a lower low. NG looks good, but this is the great location for bulls to step up, but I can't preempt and get bulls to step up. We need to see evidence on shorter term time frames that bulls are stepping up. Apple is weak compared to the market. We rejected from the daily 50 MA overhead yesterday. We have this 2-day equilibrium that continues. Higher high, higher low, lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low. We're just getting tighter on that 2-day equilibrium on Apple. Rejected from the daily 50 MA, and we have an hourly EQ now on Apple. So if Apple's going to join the bid, join the bull rally, it needs to get over 201.71. That is the pre-market high. Tesla setting up for a 4-hour equilibrium. Odds favor a 4-hour lower high. Then can we get an equilibrium? So this could be a 4-hour bear flag, so bulls beware. We had the daily equilibrium break bull on Monday, and yesterday we consolidated and pulled back about 50% of this move, and that's why I'm looking for a 4-hour lower high. Google, I see someone ask about that. Google, we're looking for a daily lower high. It is not gapping up. We're just below yesterday's low. I was looking for a 4-hour lower high. That could be set now. Bulls need to get over 168.22. But bears will still be looking for a daily lower high on Google. Amazon, I like long. Okay, so on the weekly, we're looking for a higher low on Amazon. Amazon got this daily downtrend here without follow through. So I like Amazon long. Look at this 4-hour squeeze here, these black dots. So I would like a pullback for a 4-hour higher low and then look higher for a potential weekly bull flag. So that's a Queen of the Mountain trade. NVIDIA was Queen of the Mountain yesterday. I still love it. Gap rules apply. As long as bulls are holding 148 as support, it is a long signal. Look at this 4-hour squeeze here. This one was a long one. All last week. Wait. Monday. Okay, for 2 weeks, it's been in a 4-hour squeeze. 2 weeks. So we're breaking bull. I like a pullback buy on NVIDIA. Rivian. Rivian has a 4-hour squeeze, and we have an equilibrium. We're getting over the 4-hour 50 MA. I like Rivian long above 1398. TEM, looking for a weekly higher low. We have a weekly squeeze. Daily, we have a daily inside bar. I like this one long. We're gapping up as long as we hold 68.81, and we have a 4-hour squeeze. 68.81, as long as we hold that as support, I like it long. TEMT, that is the 2 times long TEM. So if you like leverage products and you want to trade TEM long and you don't want to trade options, TEMT is a leverage instrument, which it opens you up to more risk. So be aware of that, but that is an instrument available to trade TEM long. Yeah, hit the like button. And another reason I like Amazon is I like XLY. XLY has this weekly EQ and this daily squeeze. The 2 largest components in XLY are Amazon and Tesla. So we were unable to get through 217.31 yesterday. We're looking for a 4-hour higher low. I like XLY long. You could take it as a pure play, but I like it, this XLY setup supporting my Amazon thesis. I looked at Circle earlier, WRD. WRD, looking for a weekly higher low. Daily, we ran into the daily 12 EMA yesterday. 4-hour, we have enough room for a higher low. The problem is we're going straight into potential overbought. You got to watch out for that 4-hour overbought because we're looking for a daily and a weekly lower high. So the more conservative bull is looking for a pullback long buy. 832 was yesterday's high. You could use that as a support area for a pullback buy. As long as bulls hold 832, that is a long signal. BLNE. Nice volume. We are right at this weekly resistance of $1.64. We're looking for a 4-hour higher low on a pullback. We're giving back a lot. We are right back at yesterday's high after climbing to 234. That looks pretty ominous. So we got a little blow off top happening. Below $1.61, bears are nice and comfy. I went over Google. I went over Circle earlier. Circle, we're looking for a daily higher low. Hourly is not oversold yet. So the most conservative bull is waiting for that to get oversold. You have support of 217.58, yesterday's low, and then 210, the pre-market low. Then you're looking down at $200 psychological. Hourly 12 EMA is overhead. Bears are in control of this chart right now. Overall, it looks good on the daily. And I just keep thinking these newer IPOs that have been running like crazy, if I were the CEO, I would be doing an offering right now and raising money. I don't know what the guidelines are after a new IPO, how long you have to wait before you can do an offering, but I know I would be doing an offering. Let me look at CRWV. CRWV has a 4-hour equilibrium. This name is owned 7%. NVIDIA owns 7% of CRWV. We're rejecting here at the hourly 50 MA. Just watch Circle and CRWV. They may run together a little bit to the downside or the upside. Look for that correlation. Oh, awesome, Molly. That's great. Molly says that my Queen of the Mountain trades are the only trades I've made all month, and they were all winners. Wonderful. They're not always all winners, so just remember that. I like to build the disclaimer. 148.95 is a January resistance from NVIDIA over here. We are over that in pre-market. So you have 148.95 as support, a prior resistance. Let me go mark that right there. And then you have yesterday's high, 147.98. So those are our two supports on NVIDIA. It is overbought on the hourly, but we're in a daily uptrend, so it doesn't matter as much. 4 hour is overbought. A monthly lower high is possible. And daily's approaching overbought, but I'm not as worried about that. I'd rather buy pullbacks. You're welcome. Okay, last one. I need to wrap up to go live in the chat room. MNMD. Daily lower low set, 734, 729 and 734 your next resistances. We are bouncing from the daily 50 MA. And I did hear that Robert Kennedy, he made some type of announcement yesterday about psychedelics. I'm not sure. But this could be a 4 hour inverse head and shoulders on MNMD. And I do like the squeeze. All right, that's it. Hit the like button. Don't forget about the webinar tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern. I will be going over the mindset shift that builds seven-figure traders. So join me. It's free. We'll hang out. I will make good use of your time, I promise. Give me a follow on X at ChartGalLori. Hit the like button, the subscribe button, the notify button. Hit a button and use stop losses.